I happen to have the flag right here. So I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation,
under
under
God,
God,
indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, so I've got just kind of a ton of announcements here to lead off. So anything that I include in the announcements and you want more information on, we will provide it. But I'm going to just kind of go through them. So beginning tomorrow, the Democrats of Casa Grande are going to hit over 850 doors in the Casa Grande area with our slate card. And if you haven't seen it, it's got every candidate from Mark Kelly down through for the statewide offices down to the Corporation Commission, Katie Hobbs, our two congressional districts that we overlap with Kirsten Engel and Tom O'Halloran in CD6 and CD2 respectively, Martine Quezada, Kathy Hoffman, Adrian Fontes, and Chris Mays. So on the other side, we highlight our two LD16 candidates, Taylor Kirby for Senate and Keith Seaman. And we've even got a little thing down here that explains the single shot. And what we're asking Democrats to do is for the House of Representatives, there are 2 empty seats. It's going to say you can cast 2 votes. The Democrats only have 1 candidate running for the state house. That's Keith Seaman. So what we're asking you to do is only vote for Keith Seaman. Do not vote that second vote. And if you know anybody that you talk to about elections for this, please pass that information on, because what's going to happen is there's going to be independents and even some moderate Republicans that are going to say, I'm going to split my ballot this year. I'm going to vote for 1 Democrat and 1 Republican where there's two chances. And that's really the only spot there is for that opportunity. So if they do that, if they split, whether it's Martinez or the other guy that gets their Republican vote, that's going to be split between them. But their other vote is 100% for Keith Seaman. So if the Democrats only vote our 1 vote and vote 100% for Keith Seaman, the chances of Keith, all he has to do is come in second. He doesn't have to win. There's 2 seats. The chances go up exponentially. So please, only vote that 1 vote and pass that along. All right, so you can pay annual dues to be an active and voting member of our club. It's $20 a year, and you can do that on our website. We also have these wonderful T-shirts and hats available so that you can go to the grocery store or anywhere and people will know you're a member of the Democrats at Casa Grande. They're $20 each, or a pair for $35. Again, you can do that on our website and just let me know. You'll get a comment thing. Let me know that you're buying a T-shirt or a hat. We are still involved with Save Our Schools on the petitions to stop the expansion of vouchers, ESAs. And we will have those available. I'm going to bring some tomorrow for those of you that are joining in with our Canvas. When you pick up your Canvas material, I'll have petitions there that you can sign. And we're going to have them at other events. And we've got until mid-September to get this done. So still some time, but we need to get on it. If you want to help distribute those petitions in your neighborhood, let me know and I'll connect you with Rachel Clausen, who will get you those petitions. Okay. Pinell County Democrats are asking for people to volunteer as general election poll observers. Now, this isn't where you're going to be in there actually working with the voters. You're going to just be kind of on the outside watching to make sure that everything looks kosher. And if there's any problems, you'll have a contact number. You can call and get some help. You can contact Pinell County Democrats, either Eric Cadle or Lisa Sainer about that. There's a little form to fill out and they'll assign you in your precinct. There is a unity rally on the 27th. Is that tomorrow? I think that's tomorrow. Is tomorrow the 27th?
25th.
Saturday at 4 p.m. in Phoenix. They're going to have a lot of the Democratic candidates, statewide candidates. If you're interested in information on that, let me know and I'll get it for you. In Eloy on September 16th and 17th is the annual Fiestas Patrias event. It's a pretty big event. There's several hundred people that come to this, and we always have a table. We'll have information about our candidates, and we will have those petitions still available to sign, because those are the last closing in dates to get those petitions signed. We'll have them there. There's going to be, we're going to coordinate with the Robeson Ranch Democrats and the Pinell County Democrats. So we're going to have 3 tables adjacent to each other. We're going to be a big presence. We'll be there Friday and Saturday, both days, from 10 a.m. till dusk, till 5 p.m. until they start the entertainment. Then we leave. Nobody comes around to the tables after that. There's a parade on Saturday. It's at 9 a.m. And I really encourage you to come and join us for the parade, because when there's more of us there, we look better. And we're going to have our banners. We're going to have Robeson Ranch Democrats in with us, Pinell County Democrats, Arizona City Democrats. So if we have a bunch of people with us carrying signs and maybe passing out some candy to kids, we will look better. The Republicans usually sit in one car. The 2 of them, Schopp and whoever, sit in one car and, do the royalty wave. We actually walk on the street and let people know we're there. So that's Friday and Saturday, September 16th and 17th. Let me see here. Okay, the Eloy Santa Cruz Valley Union High School is trying to do an override again on this November ballot. The last 2 times they tried it, they lost once by 30 votes and another time by 50 votes. So it's a really close thing. So we're doing all we can to help them get this over the finish line this time. And I'm trying to help them with organizing and doing some things. And I contacted the Eloy Chamber of Commerce, and I just got word that they unanimously passed support for it. So we're going to be helping them with dropping flyers and doing some things, which, just so you understand, Eloy is in CD6 and Eloy is in LD16. So if we're going to doors in Eloy, talking about the override, we're also talking about Mark Kelly. We're talking about Kirsten Engel. We're talking about Keith Seaman and Taylor Kirby. So if we go into Eloy, we'd like to get some help doing those doors. All right. So I want to thank Noel. Noel's not on here. Oh, Noel is. I see him.
Yeah, so, I'm sorry. I still haven't figured out why my camera won't work.
Okay. First, I want to say Noel has really been working hard behind the scenes on a lot of things. He and Gail, and he put together the LD16 blood drive with the Red Cross, which was pretty successful as far as I could tell. Met our goal of the number of people that showed up for that. And he's working on another fundraiser that's coordinated with LD16 and Democrats at Casa Grande. And Noel, if you want to give us an explanation of what that fundraiser is going to be, take it away.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Ralph. Yeah, we're going to have a cornhole tournament October the 1st, Saturday, at Eva's restaurant. They've been very nice enough to allow us to have their whole patio for that. And we're going to start that at 11 o'clock and with the check-in, and start the tournament at 11:15. We'd like to get 16 teams of 2, and that the entry fee would be $15 per person, and that would enable us to raise $400 for a yet-to-be-named charity. We're still working on who we want to give that money to. We really feel like it would be a great opportunity for folks to get together, have some social fun together with some good Mexican food, and have good lunch, and get some publicity as well through the dispatch for LD16 and Casa Grande Democrats, make this a joint effort. And so what I would ask is, if you're interested in doing this, would you please shoot me an email and let me know so I can start getting things coordinated, knowing how many teams are going to be there and so on. I'll put my email in the chat, but if you have a pencil handy, it's NOELRECK33 @gmail. And even if you're not interested in playing, we'd love to have you come and just participate. Again, make it a social event, have a good lunch, and join us in this effort to publicize the Democrats do things for people.
All right, thank you, Noel. So Noel's putting his email in the chat. If you miss it or don't get it, you can always email us at demsofcasagrande@gmail.com and we'll fill you in. And I know we'll be sending out an email notice on it as well. One other thing I want to mention, I don't know how the decisions fell out, if they announced decisions today from the Supreme Court on those 3 ballot initiatives, but the healthcare rising debt predation ballot initiative did make the ballot for 2022. And I know Marty Baca is with us. She worked on it a lot, and Amanda Villa down in Red Rock worked on it. So congratulations on getting that qualified for the ballot. Great job. Yes. There are several of these groups that are here today that are going to talk to you that are working on getting us, once again, an office, a campaign office, a headquarters in Casa Grande. And so we're working on that. That's in the works. And once we get that established with a location and a date that we're going to open, we're going to need to get some volunteers to help us staff that. So I'll be in touch with all of you. We'll need people to do a shift, and you show up and you help canvassers get started on going, give them their literature or maybe their turf, and we'll have training available, but we need to get an office up and running. We've done it here every election cycle, and we've had great volunteer participation. I'm sure we will again. So that's all I've got. I told you I had a lot, but that's all I've got for the announcements. So now we're getting into the part of the election cycle where we really need to focus on contacting voters directly, making sure they have the knowledge to vote for the people that we want them to vote for, and that we're getting out the vote, that we're going to contact them multiple times to get them to actually vote. That's why this project that we're working on this weekend is like a first step. But what we're going to hear about tonight is from the leaders of some of these organizations that are going to talk to us about their plans for how to activate volunteers in a lot of different ways and help us win this election up and down ballot. So we're going to lead off with, from the DCCC and CD2, someone you've heard from before and who says his only hat is our Democrats at Casa Grande hat, and I believe him. We're going to lead off with James Gravin. James, take it away.
First off, I'll say that the main reason why it's the only hat that I have is because it's the only hat that'll somewhat fit my big noggin. So I want to give a shout out to whoever decided to order those specific hats. As you can tell, for once, I am not coming to you from my car or from my living room. I am coming from you guys from in front of a house that we're having a fundraiser at here in Prescott. We've spent I'll give a little brief update, but we spent the last couple of days doing a bunch of outreach and TV ad production with the congressman. We've got some real good news, probably coming here soon, but this district is 100% within our grasp of victory, regardless of how much the independent redistricting committee tried to make this district a district that can't be won. I think one of the ways that they did that is by dividing the powerhouse that is the Casa Grande Dems and the area in which you guys organize between 2 congressional districts. And I'm going to talk a little bit about that today. But, you know, we can't accomplish this goal if we're not looking forward to the election day and working ourselves back. So today, I just want to talk about how important GOTV is going to be. If you're not familiar with the term GOTV, it's get out the vote. We all know that our coalition, the people that vote for Democrats, vote early. So it's not something that we can think of as 4 days before the election day thing. Get out the vote. realistically starts, we need to start preparing for it after Labor Day. We need to have folks like you all who typically pick up the banner and do the hard work to start thinking about whether or not you can commit the kind of time that we need to step up as leaders to run GOTV station locations. The more locations that we have that are staffed and ran between within the structure of the Mission for Arizona Get Out the Vote machine, the stronger we're going to be when it comes to turning out voters. And we know that the independent redistricting committee and the Republicans that sat on it and the Republicans that consulted them wanted to move competitive districts and wanted the battleground to be Pinal because they think that we don't have the folks on the ground to win statewide elections that run straight through your county and straight through your area that you guys work on day in and day out. If we want to elect Lauren Kuby, Sandra Kennedy, Adrian Fontes, if we want to elect Katie Hobbs to the governor's mansion, if we want to provide the Arizona people with a lawyer for the people in electing Chris Mays, which I happen to be in her hometown, unlike a lot of candidates that run statewide, she is actually not from the Phoenix area. She was born and raised in Prescott. If we want to re-elect our congressional majority and grow it, we have to defend Tom's seat. We have to send Kirsten Engel to Congress. And it's contingent upon the strong leadership that you all already have coming in and working with us to get folks out on the doors and turn voters out. We know that midterms are historically lower turnout than the presidential election, but I say, fuck that. They came for women. They're coming for our students. They're coming for everything that we hold dear, right? We're going to stand up. We're going to get out there. We're going to do the work. We're going to go talk about how we just made buying a house and new college grads being able to buy a car and participate in our economy and get a start on their livelihoods earlier. And we delivered on that. We're going to go out and talk about how our Democratic leadership at the federal level has went out and capped prescription drug prices for seniors, right? We're going to talk about the things that we do to make our communities better. And that is not something that the Republicans are going to do. They're going to go out there, Carrie Lake, she's going to continue to make herself look like a complete fool. Blake Masters is now trying to make himself look like a chameleon, right? But we know that the voters in Pinal and the Casa Grande area that we talk to aren't going to buy that bullshit. Channeling a little bit of my Adrian Fontes right now. I've listened to him speak a little too much, so I apologize. There's a sign right in front of me. But the first time I saw him speak, he said, the volunteers are the foot soldiers that are going to win the war for democracy, and that war for democracy is going to be decided this November here in Arizona. And I think that is one of the truest statements that I've heard this whole entire election cycle. And I can't be more honored to be a part of this fight with you all and the rest of the people across the state of Arizona, especially in Tom's district. So with that being said, I would request that everybody really dig deep, look towards the future, realize that it's going to be something that we need to leave everything out on the field. Because when we are successful this cycle, it is going to set us up to be even more successful in stopping Donald Trump in 2024 from ever touching the White House again. I know I promise I didn't mean to make it a whole greatest hits thing, but it's important. We have important ballot initiatives that we need to get passed. We have important people that we need to get reelected. We need to hold the House. We need to hold the Senate. And that all rides through Casa Grande. That is my opinion. I'm pretty sure a lot of you guys will agree with me. We need to send Taylor Kirby and Keith Sieben to the state legislature so we can flip one of those chambers and really show them that we mean business and they can't continue to try and destroy our civil society. With that being said, Chris, I believe, is on the call. My good friend Chris with Mission for Arizona.
I got Chris kind of anchoring this. I'm gonna bring in Ali Padilla first, if you don't mind, and have Chris finish us off.
Okay, so Chris will speak to you guys a little bit later about how what kind of roles we're going to need and what the expectations are. We will need folks to start thinking and taking a little bit of action in preparing for these roles. So that way we know that we have the best trained, the best practiced volunteer structure in the country. And I know that that is possible with you all in Casa Grande. You guys have been fabulous. You have been wonderful. And I've enjoyed every second of this fight with you. And I will enjoy every second of it until we win on November 8th, November 10th, November 11th, whenever we're done ballot curing and securing all of our victories across the state. So with that being said, I'm going to kick it back on over to you, Ralph. I do have to run to get back to this event. You all should have my email. If you have any questions, let me know. For those that don't know, the O'Halloran campaign in our field program was the first field program to work in conjunction with Mission for Arizona. So everything that Chris is going to probably talk to you all about, I'm already aware of. We talk all the time. We are brothers in this fight. So if you have any questions, either direct them to my email or my phone number or to Chris. Thank you.
Thank you, James. Okay, so as I said, now we're going to hear James is with the DCCC, and he spoke about a lot of things that are statewide, national issues. But I want to hear tonight from Ali Padilla, who's with the Kirsten Engel campaign, and we haven't met. We just saw each other for the first time tonight on this Zoom. So a little bit yourself to introduce yourself to our group, Ali, and then take it away, please.
Okay, so Ali is my nickname. My real name's Alejandrina. Last name is Padilla. So I've been working in multiple campaigns. I helped Regina. I've helped on the Democratic side of it. I've been on a lot of multiple campaigns, like Andres Cano, and I helped Richard Elias when he was running still. And he was a really big mentor to me. He's actually the one that got me into this. And I've also helped Raul Grijalva, but I wanted to help Christian. So hopefully we'll win. We will win. And so just a quick announcement, I guess, just letting you all know that we did decide to join the coordinated campaign. So we are with missions. And then also, I don't know if you guys have any questions or anything regarding that. Can you hear me? I'm sorry. Sorry, I'm just in my car. I was down here in Cerro Vista, so that's why I'm cutting in and out. Okay, so yeah, so we decided to join the coordinated campaign, and so we're going on that. And then also we are up by 2% from the polls, and yeah, I'm really excited about that.
So Ali, you were, before the meeting started, you were talking about stuff that Kristen was doing on Facebook and some of the digital stuff. Can you tell us about that?
So basically I'm trying to get her more out there with the social media to try to appeal to the younger demographic. And I'm posting a lot for her. I'm taking over her social media. And trying to get more volunteers and see how we can reach everyone in the district that way as well. So.
Ali, make sure you get my contact information, because we retweet and pass along everything we see from our candidates.
Okay, yeah.
Also, Ali, if you could drop her social media accounts, like Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, so people can follow her in the chat, that would be a big help.
Yeah, I will go ahead and do that right now. And then do you guys have any questions regarding anything as far as that goes? So I'm going to be, like I said, I'm going to be taking over field and the social media and pretty much just helping Christian with whatever else she needs. So
So, my
I'll
question
be-
is, if we have any events or anything that we want to invite her to, do we go through you or Robin?
I would say me, because Robin's been really busy and I'm trying to help out as much as I can on top of everything else that I have going on. So I'll be like
Okay.
the main point of contact.
Okay, because we are working on a couple of things, and once we know dates and times and options, I'll get in touch with you.
Of course, yes. And then that's all I have. I don't know who else is next.
Okay, thank you, Ellie. So,
Can I ask a question? If
yeah.
you don't mind, I mean, how good, I know you guys don't think signs are the best, but I gotta tell you, since I live in Arizona City,
Mhm.
there are no Democratic signs out here, none. I mean,
Okay.
everything is. And I don't know, I mean, I'll put up a couple signs for you. I'd put up one in my yard. But I never know where to get them, to be perfectly honest. And truthfully, I'd like to
Cynthia,
take them.
I'll drop some, and I gave Debbie some signs.
I
So-
have
so
some.
Debbie's in Arizona City.
I'll put my information in the chat, Cynthia, and we can get in touch because I have some signs. And I live on Monaco. I don't
I know
know.
where that is.
Okay.
Yeah, I live on the other side of Arizona City than you
Okay,
probably.
well, I go through there all the time because I'm trying to avoid the roads here. So,
You tried to
uh,
come on Jen, sure.
yeah. All
Yeah,
right.
we'll get you signs.
All
Yeah,
right,
that
thank
would-
you guys.
I mean, I wouldn't mind putting some up by Loves. I mean, that place is covered with people like that Masters guy, that Blake Masters guy. I'm trying to be nice. And, you know, and like, and Carrie, what's her name? Lake. And I see a lot of Carrie Lake signs in this town, which kind of bothers me in that, you know, I've heard Carrie Lake speak
Mhm.
and we all know how she talks about women. You know, I mean, she's a perfect Trump person because she thinks women shouldn't be equal to men. So, you know, I just
If and when we get any Katie Hobbs signs, I'll make sure everybody knows and we get them distributed. But we do have Mark Kelly signs, so we will get those to you along with Kirsten Engel. We'll get those to you through Debbie right away. So now, you've heard about Mission for Arizona, and I talked a little bit about what it used to be called the coordinated campaign. And Chris Cronin is our contact person, our guy for Mission for Arizona. And that's why I wanted to save Chris for the end. And he's tied in with Mark Kelly's campaign, but now because of all of these campaigns coordinating, he's really the umbrella for a lot of what's going on. And a lot of what we're going to be doing volunteer-wise is going to be run through this. So I wanted to save Chris for the end and have him bring you up to date on what his organization is thinking and how we can work with them and get all these Democrats top to bottom elected. So Chris, take it away, please.
Perfect. Yes, thank you, Ralph, and thank you everyone for jumping on and giving me some time and space to introduce myself. I'm Chris. I'm the regional organizing director with Mission for Arizona that covers the Southeast Valley of Maricopa County and then all of Pinal County. And I've been on the ground since last September, so it's been almost a year. And this is my third coordinated campaign in Arizona, so it's kind of my home base. James and Ralph and Allie have all mentioned how important this race is, how important the midterms are. And that's why we got started so early. This is the coordinated campaign, the earliest it's ever started. And this is also the earliest our GOTV will start. This is the earliest conversation I've ever had about GOTV. So I'm thrilled to be having this conversation so early. If we want to elect Mark Kelly, if we want to elect Tom O'Howering, Kirsten Engel, Katie Hobbs, Adrian Fontes, and other Democrats up and down the ballot, we have to get involved right now. We have to start having these conversations right now. So our job, my job, is to get folks out talking to voters as soon as possible. We do canvasses every weekend on Saturdays and Sundays at 9 a.m. In Casa Grande, currently, we're just doing Sunday at 9 a.m. My organizer, Miles, who's also on the call, splits Pinal County into two chunks, and we hit that southern chunk and those southern population centers on Sunday. But we also phone bank. We understand that some folks are still COVID conscious, and we can reach a lot of folks by phone. So we do phone banks on Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays from 5 to 7, as well as 4 times throughout the weekends at 10 and 1 on Saturday and 1 and 4 on Sunday. So our goal for Pinal County is to get as many people involved as possible now. And then our experienced folks who are consistent and who show up to talk to as many voters as possible, we want to escalate to be leadership for our staging locations come GOTV. So we're looking for volunteer leaders, people who can train other canvassers, people who can train phone bankers, and people who can reach out to their communities and their neighbors to get them out to volunteer as well. So our outreach program has started. I think so far, just in the last 2 months, we've knocked on about 1,000 to 1,500 doors in Pinal County, and we want to exponentially ramp that as soon as possible. And we're starting to find that people are coming out of the woodwork, which is really, really exciting. So yeah, my ask is if everyone can sign up for 1 shift a week, you all will really help us start talking to voters in Pinal County, start talking about the importance of the county, start talking about the importance of our full slate of Democratic candidates. And the sooner we have people consistently talking to voters, the sooner we can start building out our volunteer leadership teams. And then I think, as James mentioned, the success of the state runs through Pinal County, it runs through Casa Grande, it runs through the city of Maricopa, Arizona City, and all the other cities encapsulated. So I'm going to drop some links in the chat, as well as my phone number, my email. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me. If you're ready to get involved, just 1 time a week to talk to voters about our full slate of candidates, please sign up online. We could use the help, and I'm really, really excited to be working in conjunction with James and Ralph to talk to as many voters as possible. And with that, I'm happy to answer any questions anyone has.
I just want to mention that with this slate card campaign that we're doing this weekend, following this, we are going to be running our canvases and all of our volunteer action basically through Mission for Arizona, along with all of the campaigns that are funneled into that, so that we're not hitting the same doors 5 minutes apart and we look like we're disorganized. We're gonna be working in conjunction and in coordination with them so that everything is seamless, everything is done as one effort. And before you ask any questions, I want to give Miles a chance to introduce himself to our group, since so you're our Mission for Arizona Casa Grande field organizers. So Miles, want to take a minute or two and introduce yourself?
Yeah, absolutely. So like Chris said, like Ralph just said, I'm the field organizer for Pinal County with Mission for Arizona. Sorry, a little joker in the office here. Yeah, I do canvases in Pinal, in Casa Grande on Sundays, Maricopa on Saturdays. I can echo what Chris just said. It's really critical that we all get involved right now, and even just knocking doors like once a week or once every other week. It's really going to make a difference in this election. So I'm very much looking forward to getting to know as many of you as possible over the course of the next few months. And yeah, I can drop some of my contact info in the chat right after this if anybody has specific questions for me in terms of more broad questions about the campaign. Chris is probably the guy to go to about that, but I'm happy to answer some of the questions that I can.
And Miles, I just sent you my contact information, my cell number and email. So anything you need to get to our group, you can send it to me and I'll make sure it gets spread. So anybody have any questions about anything that we're doing? Any aspect of volunteering, or that you've got these guys right here that can answer your questions right away?
Yeah, I can take this text banking question. We don't have text banking available just yet. That's a lot more effective in October, closer to November, when folks will remember that they got that text and that commit to vote. I can give a little bit more context behind the phone calls that we're making and who we're talking to. We're talking to low efficacy voters, folks who generally don't turn out for midterm elections. They always turn out for presidential elections, but they have never turned out for a midterm. They could be new voters. They could be voters who registered to vote in, I don't know, the 1950s and just have never voted in a midterm election. And we want to have conversations with them now to get both verbal commitments to vote over the phone. And then when we're in person, we actually collect a cool postcard from voters that's kind of like a physical commit to vote. The voter will fill it out, the campaign will collect it and hold on to it, and then we send it back out as a gentle reminder. I believe they come out October 5th, the week before ballots drop. So it's text banking, I think, is really, really important to turn out voters closer to the election, and that serves as a great gentle reminder. But the conversations that we're having right now are most effective both over the phone and in person.
Yeah, and just so you to follow up on that, to turn a voter that may not be voting all the time or isn't up to date on what the issues are, you need to contact that voter. They call them touches. You need to touch that voter 2, 3, 4, 5 times in order to establish a relationship between that voter and actually casting a vote. And while a sign is a little slight touch with name recognition, it's the door knock, it's the phone call, it's the text, it's the follow-up kind of stuff that brings that voter loyalty out and gets them to vote on election day.
So the phone calls that we're making are to Democrats. They're not to just random people, correct?
Yeah.
Okay.
Absolutely. We don't want to, have you talk to a MAGA supporter. We're not going to sway that voter. There are a lot of independents in our universe who just need a little bit of a touch from us to turn out. I believe we have 10% of registered Republicans in there too, but we have enough data to determine that these folks are not hostile. I don't believe any of my volunteers since I've been on over the last 10, 11 months have been cussed out or have had a bad experience on the phone. We definitely don't want to, send you to hostile doors or hostile voters at all. Okay.
When we go to doors, when Cindy and I go out, she was able to get these little cards from Coolidge that has Katie Hobbs, I guess, has them, and they have a thing that you can scan to register voters. So we had an 18-year-old that were there for grandma, but grandma was at church. So we gave him one of those and explained the importance of him registering. So, these kids are very tech savvy. So he took the card and said he would register to vote. So those are, I thought those were a neat thing to take when we get more of those. Yeah, we have a very similar card. The postcard that we collect has a tear off with a QR code that sends you to information on the candidates, information on how to register to vote. I believe we adopted that from the Hobbs campaign when they folded in. So that's a helpful tool that we've been able to use as well. Okay. Yeah.
If you can get us some of those, Miles or Chris, we'll make sure everybody that's going out takes those. And when we do canvassing, we always encourage our canvassers to bring the regular voter registration form along with them.
Great. Yeah, we're sending out Evels and all that jazz as well. I see Bobby and I see Larry and Debbie.
Larry, you go first.
How do you, yes, Chris, how do we get, I've talked to Keith and we've talked to Mal.
Yeah.
How do we get our name off the list with all the stuff that's being sent out? I get, 16 texts a day and
Mm-hmm.
emails and cards and letters and phone calls.
Yeah.
And we're 100% here.
Yep. I'm in the exact same boat. No matter how many times I click unsubscribe or stop, I always get signed up for 3 brand new text
Right.
lists. And so of course I'm working on the campaign, right? I always recommend folks unsubscribe from emails, respond, stop, and that should unsubscribe you. That's the best solution I have. It looks like Betty has a really good URL. Oh wait. Oh, I thought that was a URL to unsubscribe. But yeah, unsubscribing.
No, it's not to
saying stop.
unsubscribe. I'm back
Cool.
on the anybody can register to vote online. There's a link
Cool.
that Field Team 6 has that you can go to that link and it will have the application process and forms for all 50 states. So you can
Yeah.
register to vote, and
That's
that's
sweet.
Yeah, okay.
That's a cool
I
tool.
dropped that in the chat.
Yeah, but Larry, I would just recommend responding, stop, clicking unsubscribe.
Yeah, I
but-
hate to do it though.
Yeah, I would recommend staying on the Mission for Arizona or the Mark Kelly mailer, but that's my own
Yes.
personal preference there.
I do.
Awesome.
I
Thank you.
even got 2 Mark Kelly snail mails the same day.
There we go. It doesn't stop.
And I was wondering if Miles is the Miles who calls. I've talked to you a couple of times about doing phone banking and canvassing. And is that you, Miles? Is this the?
Yeah, that's almost certainly me.
Yeah, I've heard that. We've talked a few times. I told you I'd start in September, so I'm on your list.
Awesome. Well, yeah, we're looking forward to it. But yeah, that's me.
Okay, thanks.
So Chris,
Cool.
I want to
Yes,
know
ma'am.
if you are doing any targeting on your phone scripts or on looking on your list of who to call on women and targeting the issue of reproductive rights.
So we leave our scripts open format, and we encourage our volunteers to have, on message but diverse ranges of conversations. We on our script we include talking points for a range of different issues. It's a really bulky script, but that's there to arm you with all the knowledge and all the information you'll need to have a wide range of conversation. So in short, we don't target people based on issues. We do collect a top issue, and that helps us with the Mark Kelly official side messaging. But we just have like a one script fits all, and we very much encourage our volunteers to go off script, talk about what's important to them, talk about what's important to their voter that they're talking to. Okay.
So are we collecting information from when we make the calls, like this is a woman who's really exercised about reproductive rights, and so that would get us like in November, or that would get a call back like reminding her on that particular issue? Or him?
Yeah, that is, we have a cool notes system in our data system where volunteers can collect notes. Again, we can collect that top issue. When we go to doors and we collect that postcard, voters can actually write down the issue that matters to them most, and they sign it. And then when they mail it back, they see like, oh my gosh, I had this conversation with this awesome volunteer. I remember writing down, this is my top issue, and this is what I want to turn out to vote. Okay.
So timing wise, you don't have any issues as timing wise when you're going to focus on reproductive rights. You're just going to go with the general and maybe at the end focus on that.
Yes, ma'am. Yeah. Okay.
Chris, can I ask you a question? Do you know who Rural Power Lab is and what they do? Do you guys work with them? I'm not saying I know. I'm asking you know.
I know of a couple of different organizations. I know of Raza and Raise, but I know that Lisa, who's Pinal County Chair, is working with Rural Power Labs. Is that right, Ralph?
No. I haven't heard of them.
Yeah, our we want to stay, Mission for Arizona mostly wants to stay working with the local groups that exist, such as yourselves, as well as the other campaigns such as Tomo Howrens, as well as Kristen Engels, Katie Hobbs. We don't necessarily work with different PACs or different special organizations.
Democrats at Casa Grande is exactly the same way. While by law we're a PAC, we are and have always been traditionally totally in line and working with the campaigns and the party at the state level, the county level, and that's what we've done.
Yeah. Cool. Yeah. Anything else?
All right. If there aren't any other questions, go ahead.
One thing, when we make these calls, are we specifically, because I am from Casa Grande, are we given information about Keith Seaman and Taylor Kirby?
Yeah, that's happening at doors. Right now, our script on the phones does not include Keith Seaman and Taylor Kirby, but I am working with Kendra to get talking points for both, and we are having those conversations at the doors.
Okay, well, let me know when the phone banking includes those two gentlemen, and I'll be there. But I am, first and foremost, these two men need our help. So that's my focus.
Thank you,
Absolutely.
Marty.
Yeah, and for phone banking for Keith and Taylor, I would refer to Keith. I can also put you in touch with Kendra, who's working with Taylor.
Yeah, I know Kendra quite well. Yeah.
Sweet.
Yeah, I've got him on my phone, Dill, but.
Cool.
All right. If there aren't any other questions, if you think of questions later, and if Chris isn't still on or Miles, get them to me. I'll make sure I'm in touch with Chris quite frequently, and James, and I will be with Miles as well. So if you have any questions, if they're not right here, we can get them answered. Bobby, you have one?
Yeah, one of the things I know that the local office is going to need when it gets opened is the new maps of where the districts are, because that's going to be the one thing that people are going to want to know. And that'll be a hook for you to be able to give them information, is to be able to tell them where the district lines are and who they can vote for, especially at the Keith and Taylor level. And last time we couldn't get the maps because they didn't have them, and that was maybe because they were all gone and been used up. But can we start now looking for maps for the office of the new districts?
Yes, my colleague and coworker, who's right behind me, this is Sarah. She found these awesome maps that were not.
That's what made me think of it.
Yeah. She found these not through the county recorder or through the Secretary of State's website, but she made them herself, and she showed me how to make them. So I'm happy to get some made once we get a shared office space down in Pinal.
Chris, just so you know, Bobby ran that office for the 2020 and probably the 2018 campaigns. She was the person that ran that Casa Grande office like a top. So she's our go-to person.
Well, I'm willing to do it again, but I don't get there till the 21st of September. So, and everybody will have to help because I'm older now.
You got it. We will get you some help, and Bobby, I will be giving you a call once you get in town. Perfect. Yeah, thank you, everybody. It's great meeting everyone.
Yeah, and Keith, I want to allow you a couple of minutes here to talk about what's going on with your campaign, and if you know what's going on with Taylor as well, but please fill us in with what's going on with you.
All right, thank you. I don't know if any of you saw the debate last night. It was our, I guess it was the second debate with the clean elections, fair elections. And it was supposed to be obviously me and Taylor and the three Republicans. They didn't show up, none of them. I don't know what that says. We like to think because they're afraid of us. But I thought it went well. It went to an hour. It was just Taylor and I talking to each other and with the narrator about our issues. And I thought it went well. But our social rep for the caucus we're certainly going to exploit that. I'll tell you. You know, we'll say things like on that are they afraid to, you know, why didn't they show up? Things like that. So that was last night. I don't know if you saw that was on the Clean Elections YouTube, along with the caucus. With the canvas. I appreciate that because we go out every weekend too. I know this weekend, I think I saw on your social media, we're doing some Casa Grande stuff. Every weekend we do canvases in Casa Grande and in Maricopa. I was very happy to see Cindy and Marty last Saturday. Thank you. So what I'm saying is with our individual canvases and with the canvases we're hearing from Chris, what you guys are doing, we've got this covered. And I'm hoping that they're doing the same thing down in the Tucson part of our district, because it's a very large district. We've got some things coming up. We have some meet and greet in Tucson, a couple of them. I did the Arizona City Chamber of Commerce last Wednesday at, Ralph, what's it called? The restaurant there at your golf course, Tap Room or something. That went well.
Tap in,
right? So we tapped in there and did that. Different kind of format. We talked for about a minute about ourselves, and then instead of being asked questions, we were told we have 5 minutes to talk about our issues. It was interesting. We got a few barbs back and forth. I was able to mention about them not supporting schools and abortion rights, things like that. So we're getting out there. The campaign is going to be starting some, the ADLCC, starting some advertisement in September. We've already done photo shoots for that. They'll be coming out, I think, probably the second or third week in September, maybe even before that. On social media, they're sending out several thousand pieces of literature. We talked about the signs. I agree that signs aren't very effective, perhaps, but like you said, at least they get recognition. And those people in the district who don't know anything about politics, at least will see the name. So they're coming out pretty soon. So it's going as well as expected. And I do appreciate everything everybody's doing for our campaign, plus all the other Democrats in the district. So that's basically what we're doing. It's busy. At nighttime, we're making phone calls. Now it's gone fundraise. We're still doing that, but then now I'm calling people who I met at the door, or somebody had met at the door on my behalf. Say, hey, somebody canvassed your house. Thank you. Can you support us now? So we're into that phase of the campaign. So I appreciate again all your support on that. Anybody have any questions? Going pretty as well as it can be, I guess. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Keith. So we all know there's plenty of ways that we can help get Democrats elected. One way we didn't talk about much is, Keith mentioned it a little bit, kind of a side mention, but we can contribute money. These campaigns all need money for literature, for even the social media ads. It costs money to run an ad on Facebook. All of it costs money. So if you can write a check, do that. If you can help with phone calling, do that. If you can help with knocking on doors, especially knocking on doors, do that. And we can turn this around. Things are looking better for us with all of the stuff the Democrats have been doing in Congress. It was Joe Biden and the student debt relief that we were talking about earlier. We've got some green shoots out there. All we need to do is water them, make sure people are hearing about them, answer their questions, let them know that there are Democrats out here that are ready to work for working families across the state. So unless anybody's got any other issues or questions, many of you, I'll see you tomorrow at 11 o'clock over in the promenade, right across from PetSmart, and we'll get you your lit drop materials. If there's nothing else, I
have one question.
Go.
Ralph, who's paying, who's funding the stuff that you're handing out that you showed us at the beginning with everybody's picture on it and everybody's name? Is that the Democrat, our club, or is that Mission for Arizona?
So it's our club. I wanted us to be the first out of the gate with that, so we could get those into the hands of voters as quickly as possible. And I got to say, Debbie Broom did hours and hours and hours of work getting that thing designed and put together and ordered. And you know, the more people you bring in and more organizations you bring in to putting something like that together, we had experience with this the last couple of election cycles, and you end up, it's 5 minutes before the election and they finally decide on what it's going to look like. So you know, we had a graphic designer that was ready to work with us here, and Debbie, and I said, let's just do it and get it out there. So just so everybody knows, we printed up 1,000 of these. It cost what it cost, that $325 or something, roughly.
4,000, yeah.
Yep. So we're using 850 plus tomorrow. So we will be ordering another 1,000 because we're not only going to have these at the office available, we're not only going to have these for canvassers available, but we're going to be going to some spots where we believe Democrats shop. Some of the grocery stores that are predominantly in some of these Hispanic neighborhoods, we're going to be going there at their peak shopping times and putting these things on their windshield. So we're going to be going everywhere with these cards. We're going to order another 1,000 right away. So if you want to send us some money, go to the website and help pay for this, please do. Yeah, we've got a few bucks right now. We're in decent shape, but we're going to empty the treasury, and our treasurer is right here. So we're going to empty the treasury on this election because it's that important.
Noel has his hand up.
Yeah, let me make sure. Yeah, I just want to make sure to encourage people to keep sending letters to the editor and to the dispatch. We've been pretty good about getting a lot of letters in and countering some of the other wackos that send their stuff in, but the more we can do on that, the better.
Yeah.
And
All right, thank you. Anybody else?
Yeah, Ralph, the petition, the Save Our Schools petition, was that one, we signed 3 petitions when we went to that Mexican place, I don't remember the name of it, a couple of months ago. Was that petition there too?
I think it was, but I'm not 100% sure, but I'm going to have it tomorrow. If you stop by for the cards, I'm going to have that petition tomorrow.
Okay, and are the cards printed in Spanish also? Are they in English and Spanish?
Oh, they're just in English.
Oh, okay.
All right. All right, thanks everybody. And did you, Al, did you have a question or?
Oh, can you hear me all right?
Yeah.
I'm sorry I got in late. I was helping a neighbor with some issues. But tomorrow for the cards, would you repeat that?
So 11 o'clock at the promenade, you know where PetSmart is?
Oh yeah. Yeah. Sure
We
enough.
won't be right in front, but we'll be, if you're in, look out in the parking lot, we'll be there. And,
okay. I'll come by.
All right.
I'll be thinking of you.
It's good to see you back among us, healthy. Those of you who were with us when we were, this is a couple of years ago now, when we
2000
were
and October 8th, 2019.
Yeah, he remembers the date, and I'll tell you why. We were in front of Tom O'Halloran's office, if you were there with us, and we were encouraging Tom to vote yes on the first impeachment, and we got stampeded by 1 million super aggressive, crazy Republicans who were hitting us with their flags, and it turned into a battle zone if you were there. Well, Al was there and with us and went home that evening and unfortunately had a heart attack. And haven't heard from Al for quite a while, and he got in touch with me just a little while ago. And Al, it's good to see you back and joining us again. So good
Thanks,
to
Ralph.
have you back with us. Yeah.
Thank you.
One quick thing, Ralph, if you're going to put these flyers in places that like Food City where the Latinos are, you really need to have them done in Spanish.
So it's an expense that I'm not sure we're going to be able to afford. We can look into it, but I'll tell you, when I was a candidate, Marty, this is the feedback that I got. because we had literature in English and Spanish. And a lot of Spanish speaking people in a lot of these neighborhoods told us that people felt insulted that we were in America, that we were asking them to vote in an election in the United States, and that we didn't think they spoke English. And so, you know, it's a fine line with this stuff, and I understand that, but I don't know if it's an expense we're gonna invest in, but we can talk about it.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. You sent me that card.
They had both Spanish, English and Spanish on it, which was, I thought, a cool idea.
Yeah, the picture ought to help enough.
Yeah, we've got all the pictures.
Yeah.
Will they do a run less than 1,000?
Yeah, they will.
Okay, well, I guess we just have to donate more money, and if we have more money, we can do one in Spanish.
Right.
Maybe we can find a Spanish speaking person who would like to do that.
We've got translators that would do it for us. You know, we don't have much information on our card. We just have the name and the office they're running for, and it says vote for these outstanding candidates. Vote Democrat up and down ballot. Save democracy and our individual rights. And then on the back, it says Democrats up and down the ballot are experienced problem solvers. They're honest people committed to working on behalf of all Arizona families. They need your vote. So we don't have a lot of words.
How much white space is there left?
On the back, there's.
So there might be enough room to put like we could do a run, or we could put like just a little bit of Spanish on there, like maybe a summary Spanish in the back where it's white, and then like vote and vota.
Vote for these candidates. Vota para esos candidatos, or whoever, you know.
There you go. All right, we'll
Wouldn't
look
take
at it
much.
before we send in our next order.
Okay.
All right. All right, thanks, everybody. Have a good evening. See some of you tomorrow at 11 o'clock.
11 o'clock tomorrow.
Good to see you. You go,
Go.
Keith.